South Carolina stuns Kentucky 71-68. There was a buzz in that building for roughly 40 minutes. I mean, there's been rumors John Calipari may leave this program to go to Texas. There's mutual interest. And then all of a sudden, a team that got ran out of the building against Tennessee by 40 just mere days ago walks into Rupp Arena, 20-point underdogs, and they led from start to finish. They were up 10 points almost 4 minutes into this game, and Kentucky never led again. I mean, they clawed and they chipped away in that second half, cut it to as close as 3 points with 20 seconds left, had some shots to tie the game late. Ultimately, they did not connect, and it didn't happen for the Wildcats. But we've talked for months. Matt knows this. We've talked for months. Is this team a tournament team? That's not the conversation anymore after tonight. They've got a long way to go just to even reignite that conversation. So let's just step back. Matt, I'll throw it to you first again. Where do we go from here?
Well, I think a couple things. First, let's start with this and the criticism of Coach Cal, and even for a fan to have a sign that says, go to Texas. All right, Coach Calipari has a lifetime contract at the University of Kentucky, and everything that he's done, he hasn't forgotten how to coach. And everyone wants to talk about the X's and O's and this, that, and the third. And, he hasn't should he find ways to get Oscar Chigwe the ball more down in the post? Yes. But, it's all about more like sustaining and fighting for culture. And that's one of the hardest things to do. Like drawing up a timeout coming out, or drawing up a play coming out of a timeout, like that's the easy thing to do, right? It's, hey, what's going on in that locker room, right? Are guys unhappy? Is this guy unhappy? Maybe this guy's getting more money in NIL. I don't know, but like that's the more challenging part. Like Coach Cal, hasn't forgotten how to coach. And then you throw on top of this now the whole Texas thing. That's another thing that everybody's having to deal with and everybody's hearing. And that's another distraction that's being put out there while they're trying to come together and find ways to win basketball games. So I think it's more of a cultural issue right now than anything else. And the distractions and the noise, and now BBN's not happy, and everybody in that program, including Coach Calipari, who's in the Naismith Hall of Fame, is feeling that. The players are feeling that. Everybody's feeling it, right? And we'll dive into more like X and O. Should they do this and their defense? And I mean, tonight they were giving up layups and wide open threes, but I think it's more of a cultural issue right now. And the distractions of all the noise outside and those guys not being able to block it out and focus in on, hey, man, we got to defend. We got to rebound. We got to make free throws. Like, look at the stats that from tonight, right? South Carolina shoots 55% from three. They out-rebound Kentucky by 4. Kentucky was 7 for 14 from the foul line and only had 9 total assists in the game. Like, a lot of those numbers, it's effort-based. And effort, a lot of times, man, if you're not playing hard, there's other things going on and there's other distractions, and that comes into play when you're out there trying to perform. So we can be critical of what they run on offense and, hey, man, let's run some screening action to get Oscar Chigwe the ball down on the block because he's not getting it down there enough. And their best offense is when they throw it up off the backboard, let him catch it and go lay it in. South Carolina at times was allowing Wheeler to get to his left hand. Let's run more pick and rolls where we're allowing him to get downhill. You can be all critical of that, but to me, it's the effort plays and all the distractions and all the negativity. Everybody in that program is feeling it, and it's hard to go out there and perform.
Tyler, is that something that Cal brought upon this team himself, though? Like, as far as cultural problems? Because, I think Kentucky's had great teams. Last year's result didn't end well, obviously, but that was a pretty damn good basketball team over the full course of the season. Spun into this year, and all of a sudden it's like, oh boy, there's a lack of effort. There's a lack of leadership. Is it just a bad roster he put together? Is it something he needs to fix on the fly? Or is this just like an indicative result, a domino effect of some of the stuff Cal has brought upon this program himself this season?
Well, first of all, it is Kentucky. And so there's not going to be a season where fans aren't going to be critical. And no matter how good you play, not everyone's going to be satisfied. It's Kentucky basketball. But Cal, I mean, that's what you get when you coach Kentucky. And for me, the way I look at it, first of all, they didn't have a 3-point, they didn't make a 3-pointer in the first half. I've said that their shooting, it looks like they have a big flaw that they can't really make threes. And so they're not opening up enough space for Toshiba down low. It just seems like the defense is collapsing on them. And, you can question their effort, but when I watched the game, late in the game, it looked like Kentucky might pull it out. It looks like they fought really hard for the last 5 minutes. And I really thought, I was like, man, South Carolina is going to let this one slip. And I don't understand why they don't play like that from the tip. And it is a little concerning from my perspective, because you see a little fight and it's already too late. I mean, the game's over. So I would start there. Why can't they play with that? But, my question, maybe for you, Matt, is, it looked like they were pressing the whole game. And then why would you, if you have success with pressing, why don't you press more?